Journal Entry 22. New Acquaintances and Old Ones. The last days after coming back to Divinity's Reach I spent mostly on catching up with a few old friends, and of course seeing Deborah and Nathaniel again. The dinner at my former home was as awkward as always, but I knew it had to be done. The friends were condescending as always, but it was nice to see them anyway. I guess common courtesy demanded one banquet in my honor, even though I am not of noble blood. None of the high-ranked families sent representatives, and some of the lesser ones sent servants with gifts, but I cared just as much about them as they care about me. Nice wine of good vintage is always welcome, and their taste is of course impeccable. Close to my house lies the bar Purple Orchid. Being situated within comfortable walking distance, it has become somewhat of a regular place for me to frequent. The wine selection is decent, and the girls there can be a feast for the eyes, but the level of service is severely lacking. Even after giving them a tip almost the size of a day's pay, they still ignored me. So I tried the busted flagon, but Luna was nowhere to be seen. Maybe she quit her job and went somewhere, and the bartender took no notice of me, not even after calling for service. Instead, he almost blew the head off of a customer that tried to leave without paying for his drink. When the issue was solved, I went back to the Orchid. It will take some time before I try the flagon again. I met our quartermaster at the Orchid, or Quaster as he likes to be called. Last place where I thought I would run into him. We had a drink and talked about the chapter naturally. He seems rather intelligent for a char, and I quite enjoyed speaking with him, but he is narrow-minded and sees things only from his own perspective. No empathy or ability to appreciate the beauty of my city. I guess that is why the Char have a steel ball, while we have a glorious city. Anyway, he did not have a place to stay, so I let him sleep in my house. Lucky for me, he was gone before the servants arrived the next morning. I hope I can use this act of kindness to my benefit in the future. I guess the quartermaster can be a good ally to have. Next chapter member I ran into was Kari. I can honestly say I was happy to see her. She seemed to be doing good. We shared a few drinks at the Orchid and talked about old memories. I guess that is the common denominator for us all. Under other circumstances we would probably never have spoken. We get along well, me and Kari. She is blunt and direct, and is lacking some finesse that I am used to from spending time with the nobility, but once you get over that she is sweet and caring. As proof of her bluntness, she asked out of nowhere if she could sleep at my place. It did not take long before we were at my house. That girl is flexible. Had the best night since I came back home. Woke up late with a muscle soreness and hangover, but it was worth it. Found a note from her saying she wanted to see me later that day, so we hung out in the palace gardens all afternoon, talking about everything and nothing. I think she enjoyed my company as much as I enjoyed hers, both in and out of the bed. She told me about a friend of hers staying at the inn in Shamo, a mercenary with an injured leg. Sometimes the world is as small as the width of a squid, so we talked about VL for a while before she left, saying she would sleep at a friend's place that night. Sometimes women are impossible to understand. Yesterday I took Fredrickson to the Queen's Forest to hunt. It had been a while since he got to roam freely, and I had felt a bit guilty for neglecting him. We managed to track down a large boar and kill it, and Fredrickson only sustained some minor scratches. On the way back I remembered that Viel stayed at the inn in Shamo, so I thought I could pay her a visit and check up on her. The dirt was gone from her face and armor, and she looked clean and fresh and beautiful. So we ordered a bottle of whiskey and started to talk. I do not know why, but I felt so relaxed with her. We joked and talked about serious things, like we had known each other for years. I wonder how rare that feeling is. I can honestly say I was attracted to her, both mentally and physically, and she was attracted to me as well. But all of a sudden she had a knife to my crouch, and then she went up to her room alone. I was left standing there as a jerk or jester. So I took what was left in the whiskey bottle and headed home. When I got home, Kari was standing outside my house. I needed some fun, but she only wanted to sleep, and she kept pestering me, asking me where I had been and what I had been doing. Finally I was fed up and went to the Orchid to find a woman. When I got there, the bartender was nowhere to be seen. and when he finally came, the only thing he could give me was more whiskey. I kindly rejected the offer and left the establishment. After that, everything is fuzzy. I woke up next to the well. Not my proudest moment. I hope no one saw me. Well, I can hardly be the first drunk nobleman in Divinity's reach. Went home to find a note from Kari, calling me an asshat, whatever that is, and saying I could meet her later that evening if I was sober. Fell asleep and woke up midday. Just wanted to get away. The bucket next to my bed was not empty. I had even missed that bucket a little. The servants will have to clean it up later. Went with Fredrickson to the gardens and happened to walk by the Seraph headquarters. That gave me an idea, so I approached them and reported that Norn car bitch and her assault on me. They refused to file my report, claiming that since it happened in the Charlands, they could not arrest her if she even came within the city. Those incompetent peasants. No wonder that the Ministry Guard is needed. They will have the means necessary to give her quite a welcome if she ever decides to visit my city. No one treats me the way she did. No one. A stroll from the Seraph headquarters, I found myself in front of the Asura gate to Lion's Arch. It took some money and the threat of getting the Ministry Guard before they let me enter. Upon reaching Lion's Arch, I quickly decided to take the gate to Holbrook. I have always wanted to see that city, and I have to see if their bear shrines are suitable for when Fredrickson needs to retire. Luckily, I had my purse filled with silver and gold, and after opening it, the guards let me pass. The first thing I noticed in Holbrook is how cold it is. I immediately got myself a new coat. Nothing too stylish, I guess, but it does its job of keeping me warm, and I start to like it more and more. Fredrickson did not like the bear shrine, only polar bears there. Guess I have to keep on looking for a place for him. He deserves a quiet retirement, maybe meet a female and get some cubs. I think I could not live with myself if he was to die in the field. But can I leave him at a shrine and walk away? I do not know, and I will have to wait until that time to see if I am strong enough. So we continue to walk around, looking at the different shrines. Holbrook is beautiful in its own way, not as grandeur as Divinity's Reach, but it has the crisp beauty of being barren, ice and snow everywhere. I came across master artists and craftsmen, and I managed to buy myself a new bow from one of them. It is smaller and lighter than the one I am currently using, and therefore not as stable, but I think I will learn how to counter that, and the lighter weight will be handy during scouting. No humans can be seen here though. No Asura or Sylvari either. The only other race I can see is the Cha. Maybe the Norn fixation with building the legacy through victories in battle goes well with the savage Cha. If the Norn was to join the Cha against humanity, I think we will need every god there ever has been to fight them. But maybe they can fight each other instead. I think they both would find that to their liking actually, or at least the Norn. So now I'm sitting with my journal next to a fireplace in their main hall, getting a bit warmer before heading out again. I can see the tooth they claim to belong to Jormag. Maybe I will go and have a swing at it. They say that a true hero will come and shatter it someday. I wonder what Crusader Stromson would think if I had managed to do that. Now I will go and have a look for something for me and Fredrickson to eat, and some water for my head. It is still spinning a little. I will never take another drink.